What's going on, everybody? I'm here to talk about the buffs and changes for the Arboliva line, but before I get into any of the stuff like addressing why they're ground type or addressing the ability choices or all the crazy stuff in this ROM hack, I want to give a little bit of a disclaimer for anybody who's new. First of all, welcome, shout out to you. Leave a comment down below if you're new and you're watching this video. But there is a lot of really important resources for you in the description. So not only is there a link to this Google Sheet that you're looking at right now with all of the current Pokemon changes on it and all of this other useful information that you can hot link to, most importantly the move guide, which has everything organized into type categories, effect categories, everything you could ever want to understand all the new move buffs and changes, because they are, I pretty much reworked all the moves to fit into specific categories and stuff. Yeah, give that a look. Google Sheets also in the description. Lastly, join my Discord. Also, there is a video playlist in the description as well that is going more in depth about what this ROM hack is. There are videos. There's also in my Discord server a channel dedicated to Scrambled Scarlet that will kind of explain in text form more in detail. So either watch the videos or read the text, or both, whatever is ideal for you. And of course, you can gather information by watching the videos as well. With that being said, ground type, pretty semi-controversial change. To be honest, there's two things I wanted to do here. Number one, there aren't that many grass ground types in the game to begin with. You could consider this kind of like a specially leaning, special variant, I guess, of Torterra in some regards. Obviously, their abilities are much different, but the typing is the same. I wouldn't say grass ground is objectively better than grass normal, especially not on like a fast Pokemon, like a frail fast Pokemon, but on a slow Pokemon, I don't know, man. I think it also makes them a lot more unique. It is kind of funny, they only get 2 ground type moves, literally 2. There are no more that fit in the game, not in Scarlet at least. But that's just kind of the nature of the change. I think it fits well enough. They're, it's like kind of grass and ground kind of go hand in hand. They're like this tree. They've got the color scheme for it, the vibes, I guess, for it. Fairy would kind of maybe fit, I guess. They do look kind of mystical or elegant or whatever. In fact, fun fact, at one point I had the ability Elegance planned for them, but I changed it because I realized after counting all the mons that I was giving that ability to, there was a lot of, that ability plus Swiftness, which is another version of that ability, as well as Dazzling and Psychic Surge. Like, if you add all those abilities together, it was a lot of priority immune stuff, so I ended up removing from some of them. There's still a lot, but I removed it from some of them. Also, Solar Rush is really good anyways, because now you have an offensive ability and Grassy Surge. Also, some supportive, utility. Obviously, it activates your teammates' abilities. It activates Terrain Pulse. It boosts your teammates' stats. It can activate Grassy Seed. All this other, utility stuff. It overrides other terrain. If the opponent has a terrain, the AI has a terrain team, you can swap your ability to Grassy Surge as well. And then Regenerator is obviously great for defensive utility, and it fits them very well. I did remove Harvest. Harvest is a cool ability. However, in this ROM hack, there is no Protect for the player. If you want to read more about that, you can read about it in the description. And spoiler alert, I have it planned on Torterra as Harvest instead, because he fits Spiky Shield very well, so he can actually take advantage of Harvest still. Not to mention, if I gave Spiky Shield to Arboliva, because you could argue it fits them, I would have to remove Solar Rush, I don't know, or Regenerator. But then if I kept Solar Rush, they have the sweeping problem. It's too much to explain. Just trust me, I've thought about it. I ended up settling on Solar Rush again, because now you have a utility, defensive ability, offensive ability, and Grassy Surge for that big damage boost, and also, healing and other cool stuff. And then lastly, Solar Rush, in the sun, you're very fast. 50 speed might seem ass for you competitively brained people, because you're so used to like crazy speed tiers and everything being super fast all the time. That's not how this works, man. In game, 50 base speed with Solar Rush is plenty fast, I can even, where's my tab for the damage calc? I can even show you. With the neutral nature, you're hitting 398 speed. Like, that is so fast, man. Yeah, you outspeed base 131 and below Pokemon. That's like the vast majority of the game. You outspeed. And that's a plus speed nature as well. So that's with you having neutral. So 50 speed with the double ability is plenty. Obviously, you won't have that much room to invest in bulk in some cases. Meanwhile, faster Pokemon with that ability can invest in bulk, which is a nice pro. But regardless, they don't really fit to be that fast anyways. 50 was like the absolute highest I saw on them to still be good with Solar Rush. So that's that. Dolive is also a genuine option over Arboliva past level 36, especially if you're about to fight like Rhyme or something and you're really worried about your matchup on Teamlocked for her, because she's going to be one of the cheesiest fights in the game, because she's going to be a double battle, which is inherently unpredictable and hard to plan around. Not to mention she's going to have like a whole cheesy strategy with yeah, you'll see when the time comes. Just trust me that it'll definitely be one of the hardest fights in the game in terms of like Teamlocked, nuzlockes, because matchup you know, it's kind of like, it's one of the few matchup checks, I guess. Obviously, you can always cook and figure things out, but it will definitely be easier if you have at least one immunity to at least pivot around a bit. So, you know, for certain fights, you can delay the evolution, or just keep a Violite Dolliv. If you like Dolliv, I don't know, you totally could. I mean, they have the stats for it, and they've got a different typing than Arboliva, so there's different applications there. They've got some cool normal stab moves as well, like Serenade, which makes them drowsy. You've got regular Terra Blast, Revelation Dance, 90 base power, and then, yeah, that turns ground type on Arboliva. Mostly because I wanted them to have at least one other ground type move, because it was either that or I give them Earth Power on evolution, even though it's a TM, and I try to avoid overlap between TMs and level ups because it's kind of redundant. But in this case, obviously, it would be fine to give them Earth Power level up, just so they have a fucking stab move. But yeah, again, the type change, I mean, I guess I should explain it more. I mean, it's a reach, like, you know, they're fine. I mean, I could even have made them pure grass if I wanted to. Grass normal is also pretty unique, but there are other grass normal types in the game. And I don't know, like a slow grass normal type, like fast grass normal type is pretty raw. Especially on like a frail, like a Sawsbuck type deal, you know, like they're immune to ghosts, you get that switch on opportunity, it's very nice, and also you just get that secondary stab. But I don't know, I like Grass Ground and Arboliva a lot. I think it makes enough sense. Obviously, it's not the most fitting type change of all time, and I'm sure there's some people who be like, oh, not everything has to be dual type, even though fucking they're already dual type, actually, so they kind of... These fuckers have no reason to be normal type, by the way. Like, I'm a big supporter of adding normal type to things. I think it makes a lot of sense in a lot of cases, and I think it's very good in a lot of cases, and people undersell how good it is, at least in-game in a ROM hack context. It's very good to have that stab, to have that immunity, all in exchange for a fighting weakness, which isn't really a big deal half the time, especially when you have other fucking Pokemon you can switch to when there's a goddamn fighting move. But I'm getting on a tangent. Point is, I have no clue either. Like, there's not really any actual... Like, a lot of the normal types that I'm either eyeing, or that are already in vanilla, make enough sense. I think stuff like Heliolisk and Arboliva, that doesn't make any fucking sense to be normal type. The rest of them all do. Like Pyroar, it totally fits, but I don't see at all Arboliva and shit like that. And yeah, I don't know, I mean, they've got tons of great defensive utility. They're very bulky, as you can see. Again, if I like Dolliv is bulky, Swallow even has that Wimp Out utility for early game, for the first, like, maybe 4 or 5 boss fights. Very nice. Also, Swallow is pretty damn tanky, and relatively strong for that point in the game. And they've got good utility. You know, Leech Seed, you can swap to Worry Seed. Again, with Movie Learner, anything anything is possible, right? And then, of course, you have 3 ability slots you can switch between at any point. So very, very easy to switch between Solar Rush when you need speed, Regenerator when you need that bulk or utility, / you know, pivoting stuff with like Baton Pass. Baton Pass functions like teleport, so that's a great pivot move. Function like teleport, meaning it's negative priority. It's still passive stats, which you could use with stuff like Ingrain. Ingrain Baton Pass is pretty great with Movie Learner, which is why Ingrain is so late. Oh, well, Ingrain's late because it boosts stats now. I should probably clarify that. Yeah, Ingrain gives you +3 special attack and special defense, but the disadvantage is that it locks you in on the field, so again, this game is balanced around nuzlockes, right? Specifically a Teamlocked nuzlocke. So, you know, fucking clicking Ingrain willy-nilly is like a death sentence if you're not prepared. You will literally kill yourself, like you will die if you aren't prepared. Even especially because Baton Pass is minus priority, you can't even switch out without dying if you don't plan the exact route. You know, oh, I'm gonna kill 2 Pokemon, then I'm gonna switch or pass this turn, whatever. But it's still a great tool, very, very strong. You can also use it with priority moves like Leaf Flurry. Even stuff like Calm Mind is good, you know. I mean, setup will be still... I mean, we need to see when the game actually comes out how good setup will be, because I have put a lot of things into play to nerf setup, and then also a lot of the AI teams are going to be like anti-setup, like they're going to counter setup, as well as an AI team can at least. And I'm confident in my ability to make teams that do that, but at the end of the day, because of relearner and all the tools you get, like it still might be a bit much, so we'll have to see as things, you know, after the game's been out for a few months, I might end up changing some things around, but for now, that's how it is. You've got other great utility, you know, Strength Stab, Sing won't miss with Wide Lens, so that's great. You know, if you need to get that slow sleep, you can, or even a fast sleep in Sun, you know, if you want to run like Solar Rush plus Sing to outspeed something and put it to sleep. Sleep is always guaranteed to last for 2 turns as well in this game. So if you outspeed, you get 1 guaranteed turn. So you could click Growth, for example, on that turn, which is why Growth is so late, because it's really good. And I don't really want to encourage setup that much, so yeah, it's very late. I mean, you still have a lot of boss fights with growth potential. You have the 18th boss fight, and then you have Arvin, Clavel, Penny, Rika, Poppy, Larry, Hassel, Gita, Nimona, Sadatura. That's 11 boss fights at level 65. So that's still plenty of boss fights that you have legal growth for. Yeah, I don't really know what else. I mean, there's a lot. That, I guess like Petal Blizzard drops attacking stats. Early game, you've got stuff like Disarming Voice. Sweet Scent drops attack, special attack. Oh, I keep forgetting. I said I did this in the Dash Bun video too. I keep forgetting I changed it from Sweltering, man. I gotta move that further because it's better now. It used to just drop special stats by 1, but now it's just objectively better than Tearful Look because Tearful Look is -1 to both offensive stats, and Sweet Scent is the exact same thing, but it also drops some def. So I gotta throw that in somewhere. I don't know. Probably just ditch Safeguard to make room. Let me make sure I don't forget to do that. Let me write a note. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you've got good normal stat early on. You've got Priority Swift, Priority Leaf Flurry. For priority moves, you've got Harmonize for a debuffing move. Same as Disarming Voice, it drops attacking stats by -1. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, you've got, there's a bunch of what to say. I'm just being, I guess I'm trying to rush it for some reason. You've got great coverage. Obviously, Grass Ground Dual Stab is great. And then, of course, you have Weather Ball in the Sun for fire. But there's also, you know, cool moves like Aura Sphere and Eternal Beam and Dazzle Beam. These are not new moves. Why are these? I'm pretty sure they got both of these already. Damn it. Whatever. Yeah, I just deleted the plus. I'll check again after this video, but I'm 99% sure they got those already. Psychic, Aura Sphere, Shadow Ball, all good coverage, fitting. I mean, it fits their vibes to me very well. Eternal Beam is a Fairy Recoil special move. Focus Blast can be good with Wide Lens if you're running like Sing, plus like Wide Lens, plus Focus Blast or whatever. Pretty niche, but you could totally run it for certain fights. If you kept Arboliva, or if you kept Olive, you could use Hyper Beam late game too. 150 base power, -2 special attack. Very cool. Even on Arboliva, I mean, again, also keep in mind Terra. You know, if you RNG or Terra type, all of these niche moves might be even more useful because they could become Stab with Terra. Like if you get Terra Bug, you know, Pollen Puff becomes even better. Although it's a good early game, it's a good coverage move in general, but especially for early on, before you get all the other coverage stuff. That's the beauty of Relearner. A lot of moves are so much better now. Chloroblast. On pretty much all special grass types, it's essentially going to give you +1 special attack, but it cuts your HP in half. So it's a giant nuke, and it gives you +1, but cutting your HP in half is definitely a big drawback. It also only has 1 PP, just so the AI can actually abuse it properly without killing themselves. So yeah, very, very cool. It's almost like a Z move in that regard. So you use Solar Rush, and ideally, you can use Quick Claw, Chloroblast, plus Grassy Surge for a big nuke, or actually, I just realized Chloroblast synergizes great with all 3 abilities. Quick Claw, Chloroblast for a big, giant nuke, right, with Grassy Surge, and then you heal a little bit as well. Regenerator is the big one. I was gonna say Chloroblast plus Regenerator is sick because you can switch in, you know, take the hit, Chloroblast, kill it, barely live, and then switch around to get your HP back. Pivot versus AI, so that's sick. I love that. And then Solar Rush obviously is great because you get the speed. So you get speed and then +1 special attack. So you can set up with either with somebody else or with yourself, even with Manual Sunny Day. Manual Sunny Day is very good now. So, and again, with Relearner, you can easily slap on Sunny Day and go crazy with that. Yep, get up the sun, switch it in, or pivot in, whatever you need to do. Then you click Chloroblast, get that +1, and then you can kill maybe a couple more things with that special attack boost. Although, keep in mind, you would be at, you know, half HP, so you gotta keep that in mind. Very cool ability, though. Move, I mean, especially with all 3 abilities, Synergize is really cool. Leaf Storm, similar synergy with Grassy Surge and Regenerator. Also, stuff like a Jetpack. Leaf Storm is very nice in a hack like this because of pivoting around. It's very good to be able to switch around. Yeah, Leaf Storm is sick. I mean, big nuke with Grassy Surge, right? 140 base power, can't miss, all that fun stuff. And then obviously with Regen, it rewards the switching around. So you can kill something, take some damage, switch out, remove the special attack drop. Even with a Jetpack, you could do Regenerator, Leaf Storm if you wanted to. Seed Flare is just is essentially special grass wicked blow, so that's good. Just a nice, solid, reliable, consistent. Thing is, you can't use it twice in a row. That's the downside there. You click it will fail with like Gigaton Hammer. Same with all the wicked blow type moves in this game. They all do that now. Okay, I think I actually have genuinely covered pretty much everything I want to talk about. So yeah, I appreciate you listening. Let me know if you made it this far into the video down below in the comments. Let me know. Like, just comment I made it to the end. Appreciate you. Peace.